Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Welcome. I am your host, Melissa, and today we dive into one of the most heartbreaking and chilling mysteries to ever unfold in Brazil, the case of Clarinha, a woman whose life was stolen long before her death.
Subscribe.
This is a story that spans over 2 decades and leaves more questions than answers. It all began on June 12, 2000, in Vitória, a city in the state of Espírito Santo, Brazil. A woman, desperate and afraid, ran into the street, fleeing an unknown attacker. The pursuit led her to a busy road where, tragically, she was struck by a vehicle. The vehicle, like the man chasing her, vanished into the night. No one knew who she was or where she came from. Witnesses tried to help, but by the time paramedics arrived, she was unconscious, and her identity was a complete mystery. She carried no documents, no identification, nothing that could tell her story. The only thing the world knew was that this woman, whose life was hanging by a thread, was in desperate need of help. The woman, whose injuries were severe, was rushed to the military police hospital in Vitória. Doctors worked tirelessly, but the damage was grave. She was placed in a coma that would last for 24 years. No one knew her name, no one knew where she came from, and no one could identify the person who had caused her pain. In 2016, after years of uncertainty, a breakthrough came. A television report featured her story, and for the first time, the woman without a name was given one. Clarinha. The doctors at the hospital chose the name Clarinha, meaning little Clara, a name to give this woman a semblance of dignity, to give her something, even if it was just a name. But the questions didn't end there. Clarinha had a C-section scar, a sign that she had been a mother. But where were her children? Where were her family members? No one came forward to claim her, to speak her name, to give her the closure she deserved. As the years went by, the investigators tried everything they could to piece together the puzzle of her identity. In 2016, over 100 families came forward hoping to find a match for their missing loved one. DNA testing was conducted, and all tests came back negative. Still, they kept searching and narrowed it down to 22 potential matches. Then, in 2021, a new lead had emerged. The police began to think that Clarinha might have been Cecilia San Jose de Fara, a young girl who had been kidnapped in 1976 while on vacation in Espírito Santo. It seemed promising, and the family was hopeful, but yet again, DNA testing ruled out the connection. The woman they called Clarinha was not Cecilia, but the mystery only deepened. There was still the C-section scar. Still, no children came forward, no family. It was though Clarinha had just appeared out of nowhere, a woman with no past and no future. Clarinha's case continued to haunt the community. Despite all the DNA tests and investigators, no one could uncover her identity. As time passed, the hospital workers in the community grew attached to the woman They have only known as Clarina. They cared for her, spoke to her, and hoped for a miracle. But no miracle came. Then, in March 2024, Clarina's life came to an end. After 24 years, she passed away from bronchial aspiration, a tragic and quiet end to a tragic life. It was heartbreaking to think that her identity would never be known, and her family would never know what happened to her. But her story doesn't end with her death. Her case serves as a haunting reminder of the many mysteries that still walk among us, of the people whose lives are cut short without explanation, whose stories remain unfinished. Clarina was not just an anonymous woman. She was a mother, a daughter, person with a life that was lost, and a life that we may never fully understand. The question still lingers. Who was she running from? Who was the person that chased her into the streets? Who was the driver who hit her and never looked back? Perhaps the most haunting question of all. Was Clarina truly alone in the world? Or was she lost in a system that failed to find her family before it was too late? This case, like so many others, remains unsolved. But we owe it to Clarina and to the countless other people who vanished without a trace, to never stop asking questions, to never stop searching for the truth. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of the most heart-wrenching and mysterious cases in recent Brazilian history. If you have any information that could help solve this case, if you recognize anything from Clarina's story, don't hesitate to reach out to the authorities. Until next time, this is Melissa, reminding you that sometimes the truth is the most elusive thing of all.